So as I said, monopoly is when there is one firm dominating the market. An opinion leader is someone who influences the decisions of others in a community. Usually it's a politician, or it's a community leader, or it's a what's the other one? Celebrity. Consumer behavior is the study of how consumers make purchases decisions and how they dispose of goods and services. Now, why do we ask you terms? Because in your first year of study, when you're studying marketing for the first time, you need to become acquainted with the vocabulary of marketing. Do you understand the words that are used in marketing? Can you have a conversation with another marketer or another entrepreneur, and when they use the term opinion leader, do you understand what they're talking about? So that's why we ask you for terms. That's why you need to just study them. It's not general knowledge stuff, it's stuff that you just study. So you can't just, Anyways, that's why I gave you access to all the keywords for each chapter, and specifically told you that I'll probably ask you keywords which we covered in class. Okay, which we covered to some degree in class. Marketing intelligence is everyday information about the developments in an environment that managers use to adjust their marketing plan. If you said something along the lines of environmental scanning, I probably gave you 1 mark for that. And then secondary data is data that has been previously used. So if you gave it to me in your own words, that's fine. If you said something about marketing environmental scanning, I would have probably also given you at least 1 mark. Secondary data that's collected for a purpose other than the one at hand. Then you had to redraw. As far as did you have to do this one where you redraw, or was yours multiple choice questions? It was this one. Okay, multiple choice was the medical test. So you had to redraw this. As far as I know, I put a video in your Facebook group where I went through this because I wasn't in class the week where we needed to cover this. Or maybe I did actually cover it in class. No, I did cover it in class. I did, didn't I? Yeah. It's in your book. Right, anyways, I put this up for the other marketing student. Now, because I didn't cover it in their class. Personal interviews, I was looking for, it's 10 marks, so you get 1 mark per advantage and disadvantage. So advantages for personal interviews is people come to your home, they can show you items, they can probe, and so forth. The disadvantage is that it's expensive, takes time, and you can't do big groups. For shopping mall interviews, it's cheaper than door-to-door. There's also personal contact. You can also probe. You can also show people items. But it's difficult to get a representative sample, and the interviews must be short because most people are in a hurry, and most of you gave me that. Now, an electronic survey is one that is used via the internet. Usually a link is sent to someone via email, upon which they click, and then they fill in the interview. It's fast. You can administer to many people. It's very easy to administer, and you can get lots and lots of data. The disadvantages, though, is that not everyone has access to email. Mostly only young people have access to email. Large number of email addresses are invalid, and email questionnaires are easy to ignore and delete, and you also cannot probe. A mail survey is one that comes via the post, the mail. That's not email. A lot of you, or a lot of people, talk to me about email surveys. No, mail, outside of the 21st century, is post. An electronic survey, yes, comes via email, but a mail survey, if you read your textbook, you would have known that it has to do with the post. Okay, it's low cost. You don't need interviewers. People can be anonymous. They can spend lots of time thinking about their answers. But the disadvantage is that it's very slow, there's a very low response rate, and it's usually only old people that respond to mail surveys. Then focus groups, you can get lots of insights. You can get the group dynamic, which is very creative. You can do brainstorming sessions and so forth. But you only get a limited amount of data, and there were some others that I gave correct marks for. I think if people said it was expensive, I gave a mark for time consuming, although it isn't time consuming. And it's not that expensive, but per person it is quite expensive.
And then high response rate?
No. It's not a high response. I mean, it's sure that doesn't count. That doesn't count for a focus group. No, it's not very time consuming. You can easily call together a focus group.
And honest response on mail survey?
An honest, well, who says that they're being honest? How do you know?
But I mean, it's not like they're not under pressure. They're not.
Well, that's different. Then you should have said that.
Oh, come on.
No, I can't read into your answers. I don't know what you're saying. An honest response is not the same as a one that's not under pressure. Express yourself effectively. Okay, I can only mark what's there. Question number 3. Is this what you got for question number 3? Marco Porter's 5 forces? So, what were we looking for here? 10 marks. 5 forces. That means 2 marks per force. And if we ask you to describe the 5 forces, I'm asking you to help me understand what the 5 forces are. You need to explain them. Now, 5 forces has got everything to do about is a market attractive or unattractive. So you need to tell me the threat of new entrants. If the entry barriers are high, it means that the market is attractive because therefore not many entrants can enter the industry easily. If the entry barriers are low, it means that many competitors can come in quite easily, which means that there's less profits for all, making the industry unattractive. And if you gave me some of the potential entry barriers, I would have given you at least 1 mark. So, threat of new entrants, very simple. Threat of substitute products. If there are many substitutes in an industry, it means that the customer has many options, which means you have to charge lower prices, which makes the industry unattractive. If there are less substitute products, it makes it attractive. 2 more. The growth of buyers' bargaining power. If there are many buyers that are very strong, or if the buyers have strong bargaining power, it means that they can force down your prices, which means there's less profits, making the industry unattractive. And if you gave me some of the reasons why the buyers may be powerful, like they're concentrated, oh wow, that's so annoying. They're concentrated and organized, and the product's a significant portion of their purchase, I would have also given you a mark, or maybe even 2, if you're lucky. But generally, I was looking for you to tell me why would it be attractive or unattractive.
So the reason why I give you 1 mark for each, you can go up, you new and still explain that then 1 mark.
Did you effectively explain that force?
Yes, as much as I can.
As much as you can, or did you effectively explain it?
I did. Effectively explain it.
Really?
I said, I tried to give you entrance. If the market has a low entrance barrier, then it becomes more available to new entrants and no increased competition.
There you got 1 more thing. Yeah, sure. You could have said much more though.
Looking at the time, looking at the many questions that I have to answer, really.
No, you must, the questions that you do know, you must answer effectively, as much as you can, to get as many marks as you can. Rather more than less. Okay. I give you a mark per point, per fact that you give. So you gave 1 fact. Low entry barriers means less competition. Sorry, means more competition. But if you then continue and say, therefore, it's such a market would be unattractive or attractive, I would give you another 1 mark per fact. Okay, that's how I mark. Just so you know, for future reference. Your other lecturers might mark differently, but that's how I mark. 1 mark per fact.
You should have known that from that or done better. This fact, I don't know.
Well, now you know. Threat of intent segment driver. Why? Do your other lecturers mark differently? Do they just give you marks because they feel like it? I mean, this is not your first year of studying. But if your other lecturers do mark that way, then I don't know what to say. Okay, the threat of suppliers' bargaining power. Now, if suppliers are powerful and raise prices, it will mean that you as a buyer need to pay more money, which reduces your profits, making the market unattractive.
And you got that from Denmark?
Yes, because what did you say?
I said, the alternative for the cause of events, when suppliers come together.
Come together. Suppliers do not come together. That's price fixing.
No, but then, what did you say? You said that for what? A supplier. You said a segment manager for firm suppliers and able to raise the price. So how do they raise the price? How does we can pay those that just push up the graph or all money and
No, but those are not suppliers. You're thinking, it's like if, let's say Albany to make their bread, they need wheat. So they buy wheat. If there's only one supplier of wheat, it will mean that Albany can only go to that one supplier, which means that supplier can charge whatever they want. So it's not about suppliers coming together. It's if there's few suppliers. If there's few suppliers, they can raise the prices whenever they want because they have no competition. Not if they come together.
so come together is the key word that makes you not to give.
Yeah, because it means you don't understand the concept.
Then what
It shows me that you're.
Suppliers then if they want that.
It shows me that you're mixing up this concept with price fixing, which means you don't truly understand this concept. How can I give you a marketing? Because it's incorrect. Your understanding is incorrect. You don't get marks for giving me the right words. You get marks for showing me that you understand a concept. That's what I'm testing. Do you understand? Okay. Through its intense segment rivalry. If there are many competitors in an industry that are fighting with one another extensively through porous wars and advertising battles, it makes the segment unattractive because it's going to be very expensive to compete in that market. Okay, so that's what I was looking for, 10 potential marks. And next time, because you're going to get the same structure in future, the main purpose of a first year paper is to determine, do you understand the theory? And can you express it effectively? Okay? And that's essentially what we were looking for here. Question number 4. Did you have this one? One way to determine competitors. Is that what you had? Is using the 4 levels, discuss 2 alternative approaches. What does the word alternative mean? Different, right? So if I say one approach is the 4 levels, give me 2 other approaches, then you can't give me the 4 levels as an approach. You need to give me 2 other approaches. Like customer choice, which is where you ask customers if they didn't have their product, like a bar 1, available, which one would they buy? You buy a lunch bar, then you can figure out who the other competitors are. The other one is called product use associations. That's when you ask people, in which types of contexts do they usually eat a bar 1? Oh, well, I'm exercising, and when after dinner when I want to sweet snack. Then if they know, okay, it's used after exercise, they can determine what other products can people eat or drink after exercise, or Energade, etc., etc., etc. So Energade becomes a competitor of a bar 1. Then there's the strategic group approach, and as I shared in the clothing industry, a strategic group approach is companies that follow the same strategy and have the same infrastructure and have the same assets. Like in the clothing industry, you have your Edgars and your Truworths and your Edgars, Truworths, Fushini, Woolworths. They all have similar strategies, so they would be considered a strategic group. Those are the 3 potential alternatives you could have given me, and remember we covered this quite extensively in class. Then question 5, one of the fastest growing uses of decision support systems is database marketing. Explain what database marketing is. 1 mark, it's the creation of a large computerized file of customers and potential customers' purchasing patterns, and many of you got this right. And then for 4 marks, you needed to give some of the capabilities of database marketing. Now, if it has 4 marks, how many points must you give at least to get 4 marks? 4. I'll give you 1 mark per correct fact, per correct point. So if you want to get 4 marks, the suggestion is that you give more than 4 points, because 1 might be wrong. So you give 5 or 6, then you know I'm going to get 4. So here I put 6 potential ones that you could give, and some actually gave other than what's in the textbook, and if they were correct, I gave them a mark. Identify the most or least profitable customers, identify the most profitable market segments, aim your efforts at the market segments which require the most support, increase revenue through repackaging and pricing, and so on and so forth. There were quite a few options there which we did cover in class as well. Then, section number C, which is the application section. You were given, okay, you didn't have that case study. You had the one about the tourism. Untold stories. Let's have a look here. Oh, hold on. Where is that one now? Okay, I don't have that one here right now. But okay, I'll read it. I'll read it here, and I'll tell you what I was looking for. Okay. Now, here we go. Thank you. Untold stories. The second Cloud is a natural-born raconteur. The young entrepreneur left his village in the rural northwest province and to go to Joburg. Now, I did not set up this question. Theoretically, this question cannot be used for the consumer decision-making process. Theoretically, but if I could see that you sort of understood the consumer decision-making process and that your thinking process was, you were making the best of the case study, then I gave you marks. So, yes, this is important. The first thing I always look for is, do you understand the theory? So you needed to combine the theory, because it says, apply each study in each step, apply the case study to each step of the consumer decision-making process. Now, the consumer decision-making process has very specific vocabulary that you need to use, okay, in order to get marks. And there's a very specific theory for each step. The first step is very simple, problem recognition. A person recognizes a problem. Boom. That's the theory. An unmet need. Then comes the application. Was there an unmet need in this case study? Well, some of you said that you used it from the perspective of this guy. His unmet need was, he realized that he had this vision, isn't it? To start a business. Okay? That's not strategically or theoretically correct because, anyways, but I gave you a mark for that. Actually, what I was looking for, because the question is discussing how actually towards consumers have moved through the consumer decision-making process. So, as a consumer of the tour company, what would be the recognition? What is the opportunity or problem that someone who wants to go on a tour has? They have a desire to see South Africa. That would have been strategically prepared. Not many people got this one right, actually, but I gave you guys the benefit of the doubt if you gave me, because actually, what's the point of the whole story then? In a way, you know, if you're not even going to ask questions about the story. So I gave you marks for that. Because it would have been almost like a trick question, which is not actually. Anyway, so I gave you 2 marks if you told me that problem recognition is the recognition of an unmet need, and that his unmet need was that he wanted to start a business. Then the second one is information search. Now, the theory of information search that you need to give me is that an information search can be both internal and external, and an external information search has 2 types: marketing controlled information searches and non-marketing controlled. Then you get a mark. Then you match them. So first you give the theory. Always do this, please, in future. First give the theory, then you give the application. Understand? Theory, application, then you get it. Or you can get many more marks. You can even do more strategy after that. But that's how you must answer. Okay? Then it shows me that you understand both. So you give the theory, but then you use the theory to explain the practical side of it. Or you can blend the 2 together, but a lot of times students don't get it right. Effectively blend it together. Information search. Okay, so in this case, this guy searched, I think, for a place where he could get funding, and yeah. Now, actually, what the fully correct answer would be that tourists would search for potential tour guides to take them on a tour in South Africa. Yes.
And then we did not that.
Did you give me that?
Yep.
The tourists who look for a potential tour guide.
I said, we'll choose between the tour operators that the airlines and the outlets. So
They would choose.
yeah.
No, the choice only comes at the stage of purchase.
But when they're looking for alternatives,
They're looking for alternatives.
good.
Yes.
So where are they going to look, or what is to look for alternatives then? Isn't it to gather others that are there in the market and choose them out of that the exit work?
Yeah, you
Find
find
the other tour operators.
you find potential tour operators.
Thank
Yeah.
you kindly. So I will have that problem.
But you said choose.
Which is then they made a choice out of.
But you only make a choice at stage 4, not at stage 2.
No, man.
Yes, man. You're not articulating yourself effectively. That's the challenge. Let this be a lesson to you. Articulate yourself properly. Explain that step correctly. Don't say choose. That's not part of that stage. They're not choosing between those two. They're looking for information about what are the potential options out there. Okay. Then, stage 3, evaluation of alternatives. Once they've gathered all the information about the potential alternatives, then they use specific criteria to evaluate the various alternatives. And they develop something we call an evoked set. Actually, the information search develops an evoked set, and in the information search develops an evoked set, and in the evaluation stage, they evaluate the evoked set using specific criteria. Now, you need to use that vocabulary when you're explaining a question. Okay? That gives you full marks. And then you could have said potential options could be the red bus and 111. Step 4, what's the theory there? They either choose to purchase or they might choose not to purchase. That's very important. You get a mark for that. In this case, you guys, a lot of you said Leseko McLeod decided to start his business. For which I gave you a mark. Anyway, because you followed that train of thought. But in the case of a tour guide, you would probably say that the tourist decides to go on a tour with the Sika.
So that's there.
There you go. But you didn't give me the theory, which is that they might choose not to go on a tour. Okay. Then, step number 5, the last one, post-purchase behavior. The main thing that happens in post-purchase behavior is something we call post-purchase dissonance, which is the feeling of anxiety that's created after purchase. Did I make the right decision? You need to explain that to get a mark. And then, in the case of this guy, I actually don't know, did he make the right decision to start a business? In the case of a tourist, did we make the right decision to go with Lesika Matlau? Okay, so very simple actually. Well, okay, maybe a little bit complicated, but I didn't penalize you for the strangeness of the question. That wouldn't have been fair. Although I was thinking about it, but then I thought, no, that would be evil. Anyway, so that's question 5. Then, sorry, question 6. I don't seem to have that paper here. Question 6. Discuss strategies that XZ tours can use to decrease cognitive dissonance amongst their consumers. So, if people go on a tour with XZ tours and they experience, how can you ensure that they're not anxious? Well, many of you gave various options, and there are multiple things like you can give them a discount on their next tour. You can give them a video of their tour with photos, which will make them feel, oh wow, it's so amazing. You can do a survey with them. There's multiple options, but you needed to give at least 6 strategies in order to get 6 marks there. So you really needed to think a bit outside the box in order to get all 6. Okay? Then question 8, how does culture influence XZ tours business? Now, you will notice that they're tourists, they're a tour guide, and they are spending time with people who are from other cultures, so they need to take into consideration Americans, and Germans, and whatever. So you need to explain something along those lines. Some of you said things along the lines of, well, they show them the various cultures that we have here, like the cultures in the various townships. That is not strictly correct, but I did give you some marks if you talked about that. At least you associated culture with the townships and etc. But mostly it is that acceptors needs to consider the cultures that they are going to be engaging with. So different cultures have different mannerisms, like you might not shake people's hands because they might find that offensive, things like that. Anyways, it discusses that in your textbook, but we didn't cover that in too much detail, so I didn't penalize you too much on that. Then number 9, acceptors need to expand their business and better serve their customers' needs. Which research survey techniques will be best suited to acceptors? Give reasons for your choice. Okay, so you need to give some of the post-mail survey would not work. And they could do personal interviews with their customers. They could do email questionnaires with their customers. They couldn't really do, sadly, they wouldn't be able to do more because their customers are not South Africans. So you wouldn't just randomly be able to find them in malls. People in malls are South African. But it's going to take you a long time to be able to find enough people in malls that will effectively do a proper survey. That's why it would be better to do one-on-ones with people that you know, or telephonic interviews with people that you know are from overseas, or send specific emails to people from overseas. Yes, if you did a mall survey in another country, maybe me. So you need to really think carefully about that. Where are you going to find tourists? And then lastly, explain which target audience does acceptors focus on. Mostly foreigners. People from another country. And, okay, sure, some of you said people from South Africa that haven't been to the townships before. I did give a correct mark for that. From provinces. Yeah. That should work.
But then what did you expect on question 10? Because I mean,
that is question 10.
Like it was 4 marks and then we gave out 2 marks.
So if you explain it a bit further, like I would have given you maybe an extra mark for a better explanation. You can just say foreigners and boom, locals. Maybe it wasn't very expected.
Were you marking this game as before or after lunch? Because I think
it was marking during lunch.
It was during lunch. Jesus Christ! Next time I'll bring my meal so that you can quick move.
How many marks did you get?
Gosh, only 2.
What did you say?
But I said overseas tourists and locals from other provinces who want to experience Joburg and undiscovered places.
Wow, really stunning.
Like really, any information that
What do you expect when like?
You know what I mean?
Like students
as all like mark.
Students. You get a mark.
I did actually, and then I mentioned tourists, I mentioned locals from other provinces, but I still had 2.
Yeah, I mean,
I deserve 3 marks.
You two have been.
No, it's just
marks have been stolen from you. It's not right.
Thank you.
It's not right.
Thank you. This mark is not right.
Justice must be done.
Okay, now what did you say? And it's because you got 4 marks. So they kind of you got 3. What did you say? I can read. Mostly an international tourist from overseas. Okay, there we go. An explanation of what types of tourists who are trying to experience Joburg from a local and more vibrant perspective. 2 marks. What type of tourists? Not just any tourists, ones who want to experience Joburg in a specific way. And then you said tourists who want to know about the locals from townships and explore different cultures. So an explanation, what type, what are those tourists, what are those local. Okay, in your case, you deserve one more.
Actual please.
No, one.
But they're inconvenient.
Oh my word, the inconvenience. You're inconveniencing me. Okay, are there any other questions, comments, thoughts, objections?
Look,
You forgot to mark me for something and you see yourself.
I love how you students look for marks, it's wonderful.
Or you're
The